Time now for night courts. The Biden administration is facing multiple legal challenges tonight for prioritizing minorities for COVID-19 relief. The White House says the programs are aimed at combating what it calls systemic racism. Now, Antonio Vitolo, owner of Jake's Bar and Grill in Tennessee, says he's not able to benefit from the $28.6 billion restaurant revitalization fund as part of the American Rescue Plan. He says it's because he's a white male. So let's dig into the case with tonight's Legal Eagles, criminal defense attorney Bob Bianchi and Cal Berkeley law professor John Yoo. Welcome back to both of you.
Great to be back, Shannon. Thanks for having us on.
And I got to tell people, we assign you the arguments that you have tonight, so you don't have to genuinely believe these, but you're taking the two sides and you're good sports about it. So let's start with Exhibit A. This is the restaurant owner's complaint. He says, on May 4th, 2021, SBA, the Small Business Administration, sent Vitolo an email explaining that because he's a white male, he will not have the same privileges as other non-white and female restaurant owners. Quote, as outlined by Congress, the SBA will focus on their reviews on the priority applications that have been submitted. John, how's that legit?
Well, generally, the government's not allowed to use race when it hands out benefits, but it's allowed to do so in two situations. One is diversity in higher education, like affirmative action programs, and the other is when it has to provide remedies to people who've suffered discrimination in the past. It's a heavy burden to overcome. But maybe in this case, if the other restaurant owners who are getting benefits under this program in a prioritized way had suffered some kind of racial discrimination before, maybe then the government's allowed to use race. Or the government could say, if we're allowed to try to ensure diversity in higher education, why can't we try to ensure diversity in other aspects of life too, like ownership of restaurants?
See, this is why you're such a good lawyer and a professor, teaching folks to find the arguments that you have to work with. Let's go to Exhibit B. Now, this is what the president said about the priorities on this aid flowing to folks.
Our priority will be Black, Latino, Asian, and Native American-owned small businesses, women-owned businesses, and finally, having equal access to resources needed to reopen and rebuild.
So, Bob, he never made, any other, nothing but a bold statement, a plain statement, with exactly what they were going to try to do. He says they're trying to make up for some lost ground, and this is one of the ways they're doing it.
Yeah, Shannon, the Supreme Court in 2007 and 2013, the United States Supreme Court has been pretty clear, and I'm quoting some of the language here, where they say to end racism is not by discriminating on the basis of race to continue to do that. So as John is indicating, it's got to be strict scrutiny, a compelling interest here. What they're saying is that because of all the systemic racism before, they should be getting money in this Recovery Act. But what it essentially is doing is saying whites need not apply. And I think they're going to have a hard time when they go into court because it is specifically getting to race. And moreover, under the Constitution, as you know, Shannon, if it's a strict scrutiny analysis, then they have to find the most tailored and narrow way to achieve the objective. Eliminating an entire race of people, to me, doesn't seem to get at what may very well have been systemic racism in the past, but it shouldn't be done by way of this law. And you have to feel bad for the people who are white folks who may have suffered more damages during the pandemic than some of the other groups, but that's not even being taken into consideration. I think that it's going to be a difficult and well-challenged argument here.
Yeah, as soon as we heard these policies rolling out, we thought it would just be a matter of time until the lawsuits came. So we've got farmers, we've got a restaurant owner. We will track these. But for now, gentlemen, thank you for your legal expertise. We'll ask the folks at home what they think. Use the hashtag NightCourt at Shannon Bream or at Fox News Night to tell us how you would rule as a member of the jury. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon.